What's up, guys? Your agent Tyler Wehrung here, and today I'm going to teach you how to list your home for sale by owner. So you might be thinking, why would a real estate agent teach me how to sell my house without him? And it's really because, I talk to people a lot who, sometimes just can't afford to pay a realtor to get involved in the process. Some people just flat out don't want to, and some people have personal reasons why they just need to sell their house off market. So I thought everyone kind of should at least get the advice or should have access to the advice on how to do it if they choose to. Happy to do that. I walk people through this all the time, so I just wanted to kind of put this out there and let you know how to go about it if you do decide to sell your house for sale by owner. So with that, let's jump in. Alright guys, so this video is not going to convince you or talk about the reasons why you may or may not want to list. It's going to assume you've already decided and you're just looking for tactics on how to go about this daunting process. So the question people often ask me the most is, okay, I know I can cut out the realtor commissions, but what other costs are still associated with selling my house? So at a high level, and again, a lot of these can be negotiated, but I just want to put them all on the table so that you're aware of them and you're not caught off guard by anything. So the first is photography. We'll talk about that here in just a second. The next is repairs. This is both getting your house ready to list. I'm sure there are a couple things you need to do prior to that. Sometimes doorknobs, little things you probably are okay living with, but you want to have those fixed before you put the home on the market. And then, so that's pre-listing, and then you're going to look at post-inspection repairs. Most buyers are going to get an inspection on the home, and they're going to ask you to fix some things that are found. They're pretty much always going to find something, but you want to allocate some money for those repairs. Keep in mind, all that can be negotiated, but just want to call it out. So next is closing costs. You'll typically want to budget for 1 to 2% for closing costs. This is what the title company is going to charge for kind of preparing all the documents, doing the title search, and things like that. So just plan for that. This next one is optional, but it's an appraisal fee or either paying a realtor to help you come up with comps. You'll see in just a minute that determining a listing price by looking at comps is a step in the process. So if you're just not familiar with that at all and you want to outsource that, you can hire an appraiser or an agent to help out there. And lastly, it's optional as well, but for some peace of mind, I often recommend folks get in touch with a real estate attorney to help them prepare documents, make sure they are disclosing the right things, and just kind of give you that warm and fuzzy feeling at the end of the day that you didn't miss something or that you didn't do things the right way. So those are kind of the rough costs to consider when going about this process. Now let's talk about the steps. All right, these are going to be quick and dirty steps on how to go about this. If you want more information, let me know. And I have shot a couple other videos that might be able to help here. But the first step is to declutter the home, make any necessary repairs that need to be made, and then prepare for photographs. Step 2, hire a professional photographer. I see way too many people go wrong here and they think their iPhone is suitable. iPhone is a great camera, but the lighting and things like that, when these buyers are seeing other things on Zillow that have been shot by professional photographers, they're going to compare that to your listing and you're just going to look subpar. So it's worth a couple $100 just to have a professional do this. There's a lot of things to do to prepare for these photographs that you might not think of, so ask for their checklist on how to get your home ready so they can come in and knock them out of the park. So step 3 is to determine a list price. So we talked about this a little bit before. You can either hire an appraiser to do a formal appraisal on the property. You can use Zillow. They have a comp feature in there that is pretty adequate. Or you can ask a real estate agent to help you out, maybe for a small fee, to run some comps and help you on a list price. Next step is to list and market your home. Now, I recommend you use Zillow if you're going to do for sale by owner. They kind of syndicate out your listing to a lot of other sites, to Trulia and Hot Pads and all these other places that people might look. So you want to list there, and then you're going to start shifting your mindset to marketing. How do we let everybody know about this? Things like sharing it on Facebook, asking your friends to share it as well. Get on Facebook and search for groups in your area, like for sale by owner in X area, or even the garage sale groups. Basically look for groups where people potentially would be looking for housing and post it everywhere. If you're in doubt, post it. You want to get as many people as possible to see your listing so that if they are interested or if they know somebody that is, that they know about it. This is typically what a real estate agent does for you, so you're going to have to do this on your own account, but highly recommend you shift your whole mindset around marketing once the listing's out there. So once your listing's out there, you want to hold an open house or be open to showings. So keep your phone on you, kind of answer all calls. Typically be expecting calls well into the evening. A lot of buyers, work full time and want to look at homes in the evening. So highly recommend you be flexible to their schedule and just be accommodating. Show the house to as many people as you can. I like to start with an open house and gather people in one setting, and then if you need showings beyond that, to do so. But just kind of be thinking about how you want to go about doing that and letting people walk through the property. While they're walking through the property, ask people for feedback. Ask them how it compares to other listings they've seen. Ask them what they think about the price. You kind of want to be upfront and overt about the whole process and take these feedback serious. If 10 people come through and tell you that you're listed too high, you're listed too high. So you probably need to lower that down and get ideas on things you can do to make it more appealing to buyers if it's not selling right away. Okay, once you have an offer accepted, let's assume you went through negotiations, you and a buyer agree on price and terms. Next step here, I would recommend people reach out to a local real estate attorney to draft up a contract for both of you to sign and officially be under contract. Before this point, I also recommend that you vet the buyer. Things like pre-qualifications or proof of funds are things that a real estate agent is typically going to do on your behalf. So now it's on you to make sure that your buyer isn't just some guy that walked down the street and told you he'd pay you $120 for this house. Ask for a pre-approval letter from a financial institution, typically a bank or something like that. Or if they're paying cash, ask for proof of funds. These are very standard things, so if a buyer tries to skate around them, be very firm. You want to make sure you're dealing with an upfront individual or individuals when you're going through this. All right, and lastly, find a local title office to close the transaction. A title office is the person who does all the work behind the scenes around, making sure the title is clean. There aren't liens attached to it. There aren't things out there preventing it from being able to be transferred. They'll run a title search, make sure that's clear. They'll do all the allocation of funds based on that contract. So you provide them with the contract. They'll really prorate everything down to the day. Things such as taxes, HOA fees, anything that needs to be done, they will handle that and provide you both with a settlement statement that will show you kind of all the costs associated to the buyer and the net to the seller and what the buyer needs to bring to closing. They'll handle all that for you. Best way to do this is to do a Google search for local title offices, look at Google reviews, ask for recommendations, but you definitely want a good title office involved to close the transaction for you. Alright guys, so I hope this was helpful, but if you have any questions, drop a comment below. I try to answer all comments in a timely manner. Reach out to me directly and ask your question. There are certain things that I only do provide to clients who have signed a contract with me, but I'm happy to at least point you in the right direction and get you some good advice or get you connected to someone who might be able to help you better. But with that guys, we'll go ahead and wrap. This was Tyler Wehrung with Keller Williams, and we'll catch you next time.